My new vegan shoes and 9 other things to be angry about. So I live in a town with a population of just over 30,000 people. To be clear, that puts us near the top 30% of the list of 1,000 largest towns by population in the UK. But if I want to go to a vegan shoe shop, I'll have to make a 62-mile round trip to do so. If I want to cut down on my plastic use and visit a zero waste shop, I'll have to make a 26-mile round trip to avoid buying my spaghetti, rice, lentils or coffee beans in single-use plastic packaging. If I want to dispose of my Carex packaging using Terracycle, I'll have to make a 52-mile round trip to do so. But I am within 10 minutes walking distance of 3 different shops that will sell me toxic helium balloons without a word of warning not to let them off into the sky, 2 different betting shops where I can work on my gambling addiction, 3 different supermarkets that still sell almost every fresh vegetable in single-use plastic and will continue to do so until government legislation forces them to stop. 3 different vape shops, about half a dozen chicken places like Favourite Chicken, Banged Up Chicken, Grilled Chicken, Cheap Chicken, and surely my short and miserable life is worth more than 35 pence for each of my wings and legs chicken. I can buy almost anything in this town unless I care about the environment more than I care about consuming shit. Seriously, I live in a lovely seaside town on the east coast of Great Britain, and I can buy almost anything here unless I care about the environment more than I care about consuming shit. Cheerfully though, I do have an excellent vegan cafe, literally 10 minutes walk from my home, and whilst I'm not really a cafe sort of person as such, it's great to have it here, and great to see that it's rated like 4th best restaurant in Felixstowe, I think. But anyway, I'm delighted with my new vegan shoes, but not so delighted that I needed to buy them online rather than supporting a local business. It is actually really hard to do the right thing, and often a lot more expensive too. But I like to think of it as investing in future generations. And this pair of shoes, bought to replace a pair of leather shoes that for reasons of extreme discomfort I'm simply unable to wear any longer, are the first pair of shoes I have ever bought in my entire life online, rather than trying them on in a shoe shop. Cheerfully they fit and will hopefully last me a very long time. Anyway, I think the point I'm trying to make here is that as a society, we are clearly driven by capitalism rather than environmental concerns. And that is a concern because our number one biggest concern right now is the environment. There will be no capitalism on a dead planet. But anyway, if you are new to my channel and you've got this far, well done. This is actually my 60th video in the series of Why Aren't People Angry About This? And basically a recap of my last 9 videos, season 6, giving you, the viewer, the opportunity to take a quick look at each of them and decide which, if any, actually, of the 9 you would like to watch in full without having to wade through them all as I've just done. So with no further ado, let's get on with it. So coming up, COP26, humanity's best last chance to stop runaway climate breakdown, recorded with my crystal ball before the event. We are screwed. Insulate Britain, hate them or love them. Actually, as far as I can tell, apart from myself, George Monbiot and Insulate Britain themselves, everyone hates them. The Green Party, not fit for government, and you think Boris Johnson, Joe Biden, Keir Starmer and Donald Trump are? Electric cars, on their own, electric cars are not the silver bullet to stopping climate breakdown. We all need to tighten our cam belts. Point the finger. The fossil fuel industry has been deliberately misleading us for years and continue to do so. Of course it's okay to point the finger. Raw sewage. Plastic is not the only shit that is being poured into our rivers, seas and oceans. Water companies are spewing billions of tons of actual shit as well. Christmas trees. What is the most environmental type of Christmas tree you can buy? The answer may or may not surprise you. Energy from waste. What about zero waste, less waste, or a lot less waste? Burning our trash is not the answer. How Bad Are Bananas? An essential and brilliant book by the guy who didn't invent the internet that will make you question everything you thought you knew about green living.
Do you think we could just get on with it now?
So let's start at the beginning. Season 6, Episode 1, COP26. And this video focused very much on whether our celebrated climate denier, lovable buffoon and esteemed leader was really fit to host such an important gathering of world leaders. The conference may have passed, but I think the contents of this video and the contents of COP26 speak for themselves. We need to take the red pill of reality before it is too late. Here's a clip. There is nothing more terrifying right now than believing populist governments' rhetoric that they can magically part the Red Sea and drive us to safety in our SUVs. The seas won't part for us. Sea levels are actually rising. And when forced climate migration hits North America and Europe in the same way that is already beginning to happen in places like India, Bangladesh, South America, Southern Africa, when we cross the seas, it won't be in our SUVs, it will be in inflatable boats. There is no silver bullet. There is no silver bullet. There is only the blue pill of up until now blissful ignorance, or the red pill of reality, which we will all soon be forced to swallow. If not our generation, the next generation. Take the red pill today whilst we still have time to act. Season 6, Episode 2, Insulate Britain. This video had the dubious distinction of being the only one of my videos that received more dislikes than likes, but has since been overtaken by the idle rich in space. Why do people hate it? Maybe it's because it's shit, or maybe it's the subject matter. I have been shocked by the sheer number of nasty, irrational and frankly crazy messages I've received from people on this video. In fact, it has been so amazing, I'm considering putting together a video called Why Are People Angry About This? Anyway, here's a clip. So here we go, another overprivileged twat trying to get something for nothing. Let's just for the purpose of this assume that this is all true and that I am an overprivileged twat trying to get something for nothing. But now that makes me an overprivileged twat with a new fossil fuel boiler. And trust me, if we're going to stop the climate crisis turning into a catastrophe and indeed Armageddon, then insulating our homes and moving away from fossil fuels is one of the many things that we must do. The government knows this and committed last year as part of their 10-point green industrial revolution to do this with these wonderful words. Season 6, Episode 3, The Green Party. There is no single issue facing humanity today that is more important than climate breakdown. COVID, Brexit, sleaze, religion, gun control, the war on drugs are all sideshows compared to the main event. There will be no COVID on a dead planet. There will be no sleaze on a dead planet, no Brexit, no religion. Imagine all the people trying to get to Mars. Why I have joined the Green Party and why I think you should too. Here's a clip. It really doesn't matter what your politics are. You could be a raging Tory, part of the loony left, SNP, Democrat, Republican, Liberal, Brexit Party, a floating voter, a non-voter, or even a far-right extremist. Climate change does not discriminate based upon your political leanings. We are all in this together. Today I'm going to explain why I will be voting for the Green Party in the next election and why I think you should too. Season 6, Episode 4, Electric Cars. Electric cars are great, but simply swapping out petrol cars or diesel cars for electric cars and carrying on exactly as we are will not stop climate breakdown. We need a reset where we are driving less, flying less, eating less meat, consuming less, and considering the carbon footprint of everything we do and our everyday choices. Why simply buying an electric car is not enough. Here's a clip. You can't have it always, and you won't be able to have it at all unless we get runaway climate change under control. And we won't do that by simply swapping out our fossil fuel cars for electric cars and doing guilt-free motoring and possibly even rebound motoring. There is no such thing as guilt-free motoring. Season 6, Episode 5, Point the Finger. First it was the tobacco industry that not only knew about the effects of smoking on our health, but then for decades would actively discredit any evidence from scientists and experts who tried to tell us the truth. The fossil fuel industry has and continues to do exactly the same thing, all in the name of profit over life. Here's a clip.
But today I want to talk about whether we should be pointing the finger at corporations, whether it's fair to point the finger at corporations that are economical with the truth when it comes to information about the very safety of their products, or whether we should just laugh, perhaps shake their hands, say, "Nice one, we didn't see that coming," like they've just dummied us on a football field. Of course it's okay to point the finger. Here it is again. The greatest threat to this planet is the belief that someone else will save it.
Season 6, Episode 6, Raw Sewage. When it becomes cheaper for water companies to pay multi-million-pound fines and penalties than it is to fix the infrastructure that allows billions of tons of raw sewage to be pumped, yes, pumped into our waterways every single day, there is something clearly wrong with the system. Something badly wrong with the system. Raw sewage in our water? Who could think this is okay? Here's a clip.
This year, the Environment Agency successfully fined Southern Water £90 million and also hit them with a £126 million penalty. That's £216 million in total for knowingly and deliberately pouring billions of litres of raw sewage into the sea. And even as the fine and penalty were being handed down, Southern Water's own records show that they were continuing to pump human effluent into our waterways. I am not making this shit up.
Season 6, Episode 7, Christmas trees. Who doesn't love Christmas? This is a debate that comes around every year, and more so now as more and more people are considering the environmental impact of not just Christmas trees, but Christmas itself on the environment. This video explains in numbers why it is far better for the environment to buy a live Christmas tree every year than it is to have an artificial tree. So, wishing you a low carbon Christmas, here is the clip.
Christmas trees are a big business, Almost 100 million households in the USA put up a Christmas tree each year, and in Europe that's around 200 million trees, of which roughly 80 million are real and 220 million are fake trees. So, which is the best and why? Let's start with fake, artificial or plastic trees.
Season 6, Episode 8, Energy from Waste. These energy from waste plants are popping up all over the place, but the very simple rationale behind them is in itself flawed. These things cost millions of dollars, but are essentially there to burn often virgin plastics, virgin paper and virgin cardboard, rather than recycling it and even competing with recycling plants for the same material. All at a time when we should be trying to reduce our use of plastics and packaging in the first place. And if you actually live near one of these sites and you care about your long-term health, and indeed your children's long-term health, you might really want to think about moving away. Energy from waste? No, this is just more pollution, more CO2 from waste. Here's the clip.
In a world where to avoid climate catastrophe, it is now absolutely vital to reduce the amount of waste we produce, the idea of building facilities that rely on a continued stream of excess waste to operate is bordering on batshit crazy. Or perhaps there's some capitalism going on here. When you throw something away, there is no away. It has to go somewhere, and in this case that is more CO2 into the atmosphere.
Season 6, Episode 9, How Bad Are Bananas? How bad are bananas and the carbon footprint of everything, and why I think this is an essential book for anyone who cares about the future of life on Earth as we know it today. Particularly if you live in a first world country. The chances are that you are currently overusing your fair share of the Earth's resources. To understand more, read this book. Here's the clip.
We all need to be thinking about our carbon footprint as a shared and limited resource, because it is. Will there ever be a fair carbon tax where we all have the same amount of carbon to spend irrespective of wealth? But there will be something where we start paying more for our personal CO2 output. This will take years, and we don't have years. Time is running out. So in the meantime, we have this book.
If you are watching this video in advance of Christmas, or even somebody's birthday, anniversary, bar mitzvah, gender reveal party, anything like that, and you're looking for a gift, probably how bad are bananas is probably not a bad way to go. But anyway, there are links to all of these videos in the description below. And if after watching all of these, you are still dying to see more, then it really would help me if you took a quick look at the idle rich in space. There's a link in the description below for that as well. And also here, if only so that you can whip the like button to counteract the people who have probably clicked on the link expecting to see an action-packed video of rockets shooting into space so that they can watch slack-jawed, open-mouthed, or even slightly aroused, or whatever it is you do when you watch a rocket shoot into space, who are clearly disappointed because that's not what the video offers. Anyway, but still to come, we have Doris. Yes, Doris, who will sadly be leaving us after this particular episode. And Anthea will be returning next season with the return of Ask Angus. So do please keep those questions coming. But before I hand it over to Doris, if you care about this stuff, please do share this video. You can share it on Facebook, you can share it on Twitter, you can share it on Reddit, LinkedIn, or anywhere else for that matter. And please do subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. It is entirely free to do so. And let me have your feedback, your questions. I read all of your messages, even the deeply personal and batshit crazy ones. And don't forget to whip the like button. It really is surprisingly pleasurable. By doing all or any of these things, it really does help me to reach a wider audience and hopefully affect positive change with my very own brand of irreverent humour, passion and anger. And remember, the greatest threat to this planet is the belief that someone else will save it. Do you know who said that? I know I just did. It was Robert Swan. Look it up. But with no further ado, let's go over to Doris, who is going to read something that Scott sent in, that he has clearly copied from the internet about Greta Thunberg. If you search for it, it has literally been used hundreds of times by Scots all over the world. And for me, what is most shocking is not that some batshit crazy self-deluded idiot has worked themselves up into such a frenzy to have written this in the first place, but that literally hundreds of people like Scott have actually thought they were clever by posting it. Anyway, I'll let you be the judge of it. Doris, over to you.
One crisp winter morning in Sweden,
go.
a cute little girl named Greta woke up to a perfect world. One where there's no petroleum products ruining the earth. She tossed aside her cotton sheet, wool blanket, stepped onto a dirt floor, covered with willow bark and pulverised with rocks. "What's this?" she asked. "That's pulverised willow bark, replied her fairy godmother. "What happened to the carpet?" she asked. The carpet was nylon, which is made from butadiene and hydrogen cyanide, both made from petroleum, came the response. One crisp morning sweet, cute girl named Greta woke up to a world. One with no petroleum products ruining the earth, tossed aside the hot sheet, wool blanket, stepped on the dirt floor, covered by bark, pulverised with rocks. "What's this?" she asked. "That's pulverised willow bark, replied the godmother. "What happened to the carpet?" she asked. "The carpet is nylon, which is made from butadiene and hydrogen cyanide, both made from petroleum," came the response. One crisp morning sweet, cute girl named Greta woke up to a world. One with no petroleum products ruining the earth, tossed aside the hot sheet, wool blanket, stepped on the dirt floor, covered by bark, pulverised with rocks. "What's this?" she asked. Greta smiled, acknowledging that adjustments were necessary to save the planet, and moved to the sink to brush her teeth, where instead of a toothbrush, she found a willow, mangled on one end to expose the wood fibre bristles. "Your old toothbrush?" noted her godmother. "Also nylon." "Where's the water?" asked. One crisp morning sweet, cute girl named Greta woke up to a world. One with no petroleum products ruining the earth, tossed aside the hot sheet, wool blanket, stepped on the dirt floor, covered by bark, pulverised with rocks. "What's this?" she asked. "That's pulverised willow bark, replied the godmother. "What happened to the carpet?" she asked. "The carpet is nylon, which is made from butadiene and hydrogen cyanide, both made from petroleum," came the response. One crisp morning sweet, cute girl named Greta woke up to a world. One with no petroleum products ruining the earth, tossed aside the hot sheet, wool blanket, stepped on the dirt floor, covered by bark, pulverised with rocks. "What's this?" she asked. "That's pulverised willow bark, replied the godmother. "What happened to the carpet?" she asked. "The carpet is nylon, which is made from butadiene and hydrogen cyanide, both made from petroleum," came the response. One crisp morning sweet, cute girl named Greta woke up to a world. One with no petroleum products ruining the earth, tossed aside the hot sheet, wool blanket, stepped on the dirt floor, covered by bark, pulverised with rocks. "That's pulverised willow bark, replied the godmother. "What happened to the carpet?" she asked. "The carpet is nylon, which is made from butadiene and hydrogen cyanide, both made from petroleum," came the response. One crisp morning sweet, cute girl named Greta woke up to a world. One with no petroleum products ruining the earth, tossed aside the hot sheet, wool blanket, stepped on the dirt floor, covered by bark, pulverised with rocks. "What's this?" she asked. "That's pulverised willow bark, replied the godmother. "What happened to the carpet?" she asked. "The carpet is nylon, which is made from butadiene and hydrogen cyanide, both made from petroleum," came the response. Which is petroleum based, isn't it? Although most of Sweden's energy is produced in an environmentally friendly way because of hydro and nuclear.
Thank you, Doris. Thank you. And thank you for watching. And really, if you do get a chance to go in and have a look at the Insulate Britain video and give it a like, that'd be wonderful. And the Idle Rich in Space as well, that'd be massively helpful for me.
Well, said her godmother, who happened to teach engineering at MIT, where do we begin? There followed a long monologue about how sink valves need elastomer seats and how copper pipes contain copper which has to be mined and lubrication on tyres and how ore has to be smelled to make metal